The Garnet Trust Hour with Chris Clark, Wes Mitchell, and Tyler Head. Sponsored by Krantz Heating and Cooling. On the Game Network and the 107.5.
On your Tuesday morning, it is the Garnet Trust Hour presented by Krantz Cooling and Heating. Tyler Head, Wes Mitchell, and Jack Veltri along with you here. Working on getting Coach Chastain Woodard here on the phone to talk to her in just a second. As guys, we get excited for another softball season coming up here in a couple days.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty cold on Thursday out there at Beckham Field. We were talking about earlier, Tyler, like the difference between the baseball temperatures next week and softball this week. The high is going to be 43, the low is going to be 33, so probably going to be needing to be bundled up out there. But, yeah, excited for this softball season to finally get going.
Yeah, guys, I feel like there is some excitement in the air, Jack, about year two, considering what happened in year one, considering the fact that you do have, like, you have to replace some really, really good players from last year, but also you bring back a core of players as well. 4 returning starters in the lineup, a key pitcher in Jory Hurd, and then I think 10 new players as well. So just I'm curious to start to get our first look at this team here soon, and then of course to start to get a good look at them here soon in SEC play as well.
Yeah, no, definitely going to be a lot of fun as we're waiting to get Coach Chastain Woodard on the line. Tyler's doing some work over there, but yeah, Wes, with this team, who of the newcomers would you say you're most excited for after covering the transfer portal this past summer?
Yeah, I think there are several. Jack, to me, and I think we might be having technical difficulties because Coach is waiting on us to call, and we're calling, and I just don't know if it's going through. But Tori Inslee, for me, now there's several girls you could pick, I think, but Tori Inslee from NC State, outfielder, I think is a dynamic player. And I think when you start to look at her skill set, speed, there's some power there, great defender. I'll be curious to see where they plug her into this lineup in terms of the order, but certainly I feel safe saying is going to be on the field somewhere. And the scrimmage I went to in the fall, she just kind of like jumped off the page to me. So I know there's several girls that Coach will want to talk about, but she's just kind of, some people are just dynamic. They just catch your attention, and that was what Tori was for me.
Without further ado, we do head out to the AAA Heat and Air phone lines and welcome in Coach Ashley Chastain Woodard joining us here. Coach, appreciate you taking the time as always. Sorry about our technical difficulties there, but a little over 48 hours away from year number 2 for you as the head coach here at Carolina. What's the excitement level and the anticipation for another season?
Well, good morning. Thanks for having me on. And, excitement is really high. We're a couple days away from opening day and kind of the busyness of opening week all together. So really excited to get going. And we play a lot of games, and so I think we're just really looking forward to settling in and starting off, the season with this new group.
Hey, Coach, it's Wes. I appreciate you hopping on as always. Jack and I were just talking about some newcomers, and I said that Tori Inslee just kind of jumped off the page to me. For Gamecock fans listening, I'm sure we'll go into some of the other girls as well, but what can you tell us about Tori and what she has added to this program, kind of what her skill set is?
Yeah, Tori definitely jumped off the page to me too. And when we were recruiting her last portal season, she was actually with us during the Super Regional when we hosted UCLA. So I think she got a really great taste of our program in that time and was able to really just kind of sit in the crowd, when we hosted UCLA, and what an awesome atmosphere our fans brought to Beckham that weekend. And so, Tori, I think with her full heart wanted to be a Gamecock. And since she's been with us, it's been one of the best decisions that we've made. And I think, Tori, you're going to find at the top of the order, center field, she's a true 5-tool player, which is the cool thing about her. Just a lot of talent. She can hit a ball a long way, so she has a ton of power. And then in the next at-bat, she can, lay down a bunt and run. So, she's just fast and powerful and just an all-around really great athlete. And, for us, more importantly than that, she's just a really great player and teammate for the locker room. So she's definitely elevated our program since the moment she walked in. And I think we've been working really hard on just, allowing her to, be herself and love the game again and just really kind of not blend in. We've been encouraging her just to really kind of break out and not blend in and just really believe in her skill set. So I'm really excited to see Tori compete this weekend for sure.
Hey, Ashley, it's Jack. With the catcher situation, I'm sure Lexi's probably your starter behind the plate, but what is to be of Jamie McKay, who you brought in from Ole Miss? She obviously plays catcher as well, but I know she's played some right field before in the outfield during her time at Ole Miss. Like, what's the plan to get her on the field this year, even with Lexi behind the plate?
Yeah, I mean, when you have a top 5 catcher in the country like Lexi Winters, yes, you can assume that, Lexi is going to catch the majority of the innings for us. She's like catcher 1. But honestly, Jamie is like catcher 1B. That's kind of how we're looking at it. If we did not have Lexi Winters behind the plate, Jamie McKay is good enough to be an everyday catcher for us in this league. So she's got a really great arm, and that arm also plays in the outfield. So like you said, she's been training in right with us, right field with Kai Byers, who's a true freshman. And then also Jamie could compete for the DP spot. So I think you're going to see her in the lineup every day, whether it's behind the plate, because, we're giving Winnie a break. We haven't really had that luxury over the past couple seasons. And now that Winnie is kind of late in her career, I think it'll be really valuable for us to keep her fresh and be able to utilize Jamie's skill set. And the great thing about Jamie is that when she's catching, the skill set really doesn't go down at all. She presents a really great arm and a lot of tools behind the plate. But then when she's not catching, I think she's competing for the right field DP, just depending upon how Kai Byers really fits in the order, who's a true lefty freshman. So they're kind of connected, if you will. But I do think Jamie McKay, she's mature. She's got great experience, a lot of wisdom. She's high passion and high care for our program and what we're doing. And so she'll be in the lineup every day in some capacity.
Again, talking to Gamecock softball head coach Ashley Chastain Woodard here on the AAA Heating and Air phone lines. How do you replace someone like Sam Gress, who not only meant a lot on the field, but also from a leadership standpoint, had been with you at Charlotte prior to coming to South Carolina? Like, it's not a one-to-one, just plug somebody else in her role and replace her that way. But how do you go about replace that production that she had with you over these past couple of years?
Yeah, you're so right. It's really hard to replace someone like Sam Gress, and so our mindset really isn't like one for one, replacing everything that she brought to the table, but really trying to honor the legacy that she left with this program last year. And, if you've been following us, you know that Sam actually got to be the pitching coach at James Madison this fall, which we're really excited for her about. So I'll be following James Madison this season because of Sam. But specifically to your question, we knew we needed more pitching. So I think we added a lot to kind of make up for what Sam walked out of the door with. We needed multiple arms to make that up for. So we have a ton of depth in the bullpen. We have more pitchers this year than we've ever had. We have 7 in the bullpen. They all can compete at this level and all bring something different to the table. So I think we added with numbers, if you will. Really excited to see Emma Friedel compete here at the start of the season. She's got a lot of talent. Josie Marin has proven success in the SEC. We only have her for a year, but really excited to see her in the Garnet and Black and really what she's going to be able to do for us this year. And then I think Jory Hurd has really stepped into Sam's role and the dynamic that Sam presented with the team last year. I mean, Jory is year 4. She's been here her whole career. She's gotten better her whole career, and she's the best she's ever been right now, to my eye. So I think the 3 of those guys are ready to compete. And then you've got Julie Kelly, you've got Ansley Bennett, true freshman, KG Favors, and Neely Lamb. I mean, Neely Lamb won 10 games for us last year. So we've got a lot of options, a lot of matchup options in the bullpen. And I think that's what we prepared for, knowing that we were going to lose a lot with Sam, is just making sure that we brought in multiple arms that could make up for the innings that she gave us last year.
Another area that you had to replace, just really, really key players on the left side of your infield, shortstop, third base. I think every time you've been on the show during the offseason, we've asked you about kind of those competitions and who all has been in the mix there. I feel like you probably feel good about multiple people on that side of the ball just in terms of what they did. But what can you tell the fans out there in terms of who has emerged at shortstop and third base. And even if they're not starting, as whoever doesn't win those roles, potentially in the mix at DP as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think the left side of our infield has kind of been our biggest question mark, losing Brooke Blankenship and Ella Chansey from last year's squad. So we've worked really hard at developing skill set over there and mindset and just, that whole entire left side of the infield. Carly Shelton and Ari Rohde honestly have done a great job of bringing those guys up as our mature, experienced veteran right side of the infield this year. But as far as who's emerged as the starter, Shea Anderson, a true sophomore who was with us last year and was able to learn behind Blankenship and got some good experience last year, has emerged as our shortstop. Really excited for her. She's really young. She's got a really bright future. Her best days are in front of her. And we've just really encouraged her to play the game hard and, kind of free herself up from, we don't want her to live in Brooke's shadow. As good of a shortstop as Brooke was, we want Shea to be herself and have a ton of belief in who she is and the skill set that she brings to the table, but really lean into the experience and the lessons that she was able to learn watching that position at such a high level last year. So Shea's our shortstop to start the year, and then Tate Davis has won our third base job. I've talked a lot about Tate since she stepped foot on campus last summer. Tate is probably the most athletic kid on the team, maybe besides Tori Inslee. She can jump, she can run, she's super powerful, and she has a really awesome arm. So she's very rangy. She can get to a lot of balls over there at third base, and she's definitely won the job here in January, coming back from the Christmas break season. So just really excited to kind of see those guys settle in, work together on the left side. I think they will grow and change a lot even in the first couple weekends here to get the season started. And I do have to give a shout out to Carly Shelton and Ari Rohde for the mentorship that they've been really giving those guys on that side and pumping a lot of confidence into them. So when you come watch us practice, and now if you come watch us play, I think you'll see the communication between those sides of the infield is really elite, and that's what we train.
Coach, we got about another minute or so here. The schedule this weekend, you guys are thrown right into the fire, playing Virginia Tech this weekend, as well as Syracuse, Binghamton, and Winthrop. What do you hope to learn about your group in this first weekend here?
Yeah, we're a top 25 matchup to start the year with Virginia Tech, so I think we'll be tested right away. Virginia Tech has a powerful offense. They always have a lot of power offensively, so I think it'll be a good matchup for our pitching right away. And then they've got a lefty that throws really hard, so I think we'll see a lefty to start. We play them 2 games, and I would expect that we see her at least one of those games. But, we want to play good competition to get where we want to go, so I'm excited to be tested here, to get the season started. We don't want to overlook Syracuse, who's super scrappy and, has some big upset wins if you look back on their history. And then also Binghamton wins the A-10 every year. So, that's a team that has a lot of success, knows how to win in their league. So we don't want to overlook anyone on the schedule for the weekend, obviously highlighting the Virginia Tech matchup itself. But we want to play the game the same way every time, and I'm excited to be at home opening weekend, play in front of our fans, and really just kind of get tested and get started with the year.
Well, Coach, we're excited to watch you guys again. I'm certainly going to wish you best of luck, and I know we'll be talking to plenty over the course of the next couple months.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Excited to get it going.
Ashley Chastain Woodard there joining us on the AAA Heating and Air phone lines again in action, taking on Virginia Tech coming up on Thursday to start their season. We'll discuss the projections for not only softball but baseball as we get closer to those sports starting. Coming up on the other side, it is the Garnet Trust Hour presented by Krantz Cooling and Heating. Tyler Head, Wes Mitchell, and Jack Veltri on your Tuesday here on The Game.
All my sports. The Game Network. 107.5 The Game in Columbia. 96.9 The Game in Charleston. 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach. And 100.5 The Game in Florence. Go to 1075thegame.com and check out this sweet deal. Get a home exterior pressure wash